Hello everybody, it is Kiki. Welcome back, and we're going to be doing my summer TBR. Summer's officially here, or it will be in just a handful of days, and I cannot wait for all the summer reading. I've been saving a lot of these books for summer. Some of them just kind of like scream summer vibes to me. And of course I will still be doing my monthly TBRs, but these will kind of be the ones that I'm prioritizing when picking those. But let's just go ahead and get into it because your girl's ambitious. There's a lot of books on this list. I think I'm gonna go in genre. Like, I think that's the best way to do it because, like, I have a lot of different genres. I love fantasy. I'm a fantasy girl to my core, so of course there's going to be some fantasy on here. But in the summer, I really like to just read literary fiction. I think something about just like reading at the park and underlining stuff, and same with classics. Like, I just love doing that in the summer. And then of course the cutesy contemporary summer romances are very, very much my go-to. Honestly, a lot of these are romance books, so I think I'll start with the romance section, but this is also the only section that I don't have all of the books that I want to read physically, so let's start with the ones that I don't own. First and foremost, Into the Blue. This is like an early 2000s, like over many years, these two famous people fall in love. That's not normally my forte, but the way that people talk about the love found in this book is really making me want to pick it up. So I do want to read this one. And then Trope Sick. This is about these two people. They're reunited because of some tragedy, and they are writing about different romance tropes, but all of these tropes are coming true around them, and I just think that's like a really fun, interesting plot. These two I do want to like buy physically and have, but the rest of the ones are on KU. So for KU, I'm currently reading Mile High by Liz Tomforty. So this is the first book in the Windy City series, which is a series of sports romance, and I think each book follows like a different sport, which is really interesting. I've yet to read a sports romance series where it's not all the same sport. This one's a hockey romance, and I kind of want to just read all of the books this summer. I've heard that this one is like the least good one, and I can see that right now, but I am going to give the rest of this series a go, but this is a big priority for me. And then there's another one on KU that I really want to read. It's Megan Quinn, Till Summer Do Us Part. I know this is a fake dating kind of a fun time, and I think that'll be really fun. And lastly, for KU, there is a book. I cannot remember the title to save my life. I'm going to put a picture right here, but Eden Yolen, she recommended this on TikTok and said it's kind of like a romance Outer Banks type of vibe, which I think is really fun for the summer. And there's like a treasure hunt, so I will put a picture here. I'm so sorry that I cannot remember this name. I've talked about this like 5 times to different people in my life, and I cannot remember it without looking it up, and I looked it up before this video and still forgot. So this is the book. It looks so cutie. Thank you, Eden, for recommending it. Hopefully I enjoy it. I usually enjoy the same books as her, so hopefully I will add that one to this list. But those are all of the books that I don't have physically for romance. Now let's get into the ones I do. First and foremost, I do want to begin my Emily Henry journey. Now these are the 3 that I want to prioritize, but I also do own Funny Story. Don't ask me how I have 4 different books from the same author without reading a single word she's written. We don't need to talk about it, but these are the ones that I want to read this summer for sure. And if I go to the beach, I might buy Beach Read, but that is only if I read at least one of these before I go to the beach. That's the only way that I can buy that one. But I really want to prioritize these 2 specifically, Happy Place and People We Meet on Vacation. I just think that these look very summery, especially this one, and then obviously Vacation, you know. And I really want to watch the movie, so I gotta read the book in order to do that. And then lastly, I have Book Lovers. This one, if I get to it this summer, that'd be great, but like these 2 are the ones that I need to read this summer. But I do want to begin my Emily Henry journey. Which one of these 2, Happy Place or People We Meet on Vacation? Which one of these do you think I should start with? I'm kind of leaning toward People We Meet on Vacation just because there is the movie that I really want to watch. But if you think I should start with Happy Place, let me know. I probably will not start with any other ones. I mean, if you want book lovers, sure. But like any other ones that I don't own, I probably won't begin with those just because I don't own them. But I'm really leaning toward these two. Let me know where I should begin. Next for romance, I have You with a View. So this is a road trip book. I think it's like second chance, kind of. Or maybe it's not. I think they were high school rivals and now they're road tripping together because their grandparents like had this great epic love that ended tragically and they're trying to figure that out, and I think that's really fun. I've also heard really good things about this. And of course I do want to read some Carly Fortune. I'm currently reading This Summer Will Be Different. I read Meet Me at the Lake last month and I didn't really love that one, but I really loved Every Summer After, which I read last year. So I want to continue my Carly Fortune journey with this book. I'll probably finish The Summer Will Be Different before summer actually begins. So this one is the one that's officially on my TBR. And if I love this one and I love the one I'm currently reading, I might also buy her newest book, but that's really dependent on if I enjoy this one because I did not enjoy the last one, Meet Me at the Lake. I want to begin my Abby Jimenez journey and I want to start with The Night We Met. This one just came out. That's kind of why I want to start with this one because there's a lot of buzz around it and I've just been seeing so many good things. So I'm kind of feeling some FOMO. So I really want to read this one. Let me know what other Abby Jimenez books I should read because she has so many and I want to start my journey. Hopefully I enjoy this as much as everyone else has. I have this one. I don't know if this is actually romance or if this is like literary fiction with a big romance focus. And I also don't really know what it's about either. I saw it on TikTok. Some girl did like underrated summer reads and this was one of them. And the reason I picked it up was there was some really good quotes that TikToker shared. And the quotes just really made me want to read it. So I bought it. I was thinking about saving it for the beach, especially if it's not like super romantic because I'm going to be reading mostly summer romances at the beach. So I thought it might be fun to switch it up with not something in the typical romance realm. And lastly, for romance, I need to finish the Dark Olympus series. Book 10, I don't have it. It just came out. I really had a goal of trying to finish these before that one came out. I thought it came out in August. It did not. It came out at the beginning of June. So that didn't happen, but I still would really like to be caught up on the series so I can finally read that one relatively soon, hopefully this summer. So if I want to do that, then I have 5 more books to read before I even get to that one. And this series is like modern Greek mythology retellings, like romantic, like a little dark romance. They're not super dark, but I would say they're probably in that sphere. Each book follows like a different Greek myth. The first one was Neon Gods and that followed Hades and Persephone. So these 5, there's 5. These 5. This one is Aphrodite and a horde of people. This one I'm really excited about because it's Eurydice and Orpheus, and I think Chiron too, which is very interesting. This one, I think it's Ariadne and the Minotaur. Yes. And then Sweet Obsession. I know it's Poseidon. I think it's Poseidon and Apollo, which I think could be really interesting. And then the last one that I have, which is the 9th book in the series, I think this is Hera and Zeus. So just Greek mythology retellings. I would describe these as kind of like Gossip Girl meets Greek mythology. I think that's a really fun vibe. Gossip Girl-ish. Just because like a lot of these people are like affluent and rich. Affluent? Is that the right word? I'm gonna stop talking, but I do want to continue the series and hopefully read all of these and the final one, which I don't even know who that one's about. The next section, I'm gonna kind of combine historical fiction and literary fiction just because I only have 1.5 historical fictions. So let's just start with that. First, for the proper historical fiction, I have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I really want to get into her work and specifically really want to read this book because it's the one that's not only most appealing to me, but it's also going to be a movie with the Fanning sisters, and I think that I just love the Fanning sisters. So I obviously have to read the book first. I know it's set in World War II. I'm a little nervous about it. I know it's going to be heartbreaking, but I do really want to get to it. And like a chunky historical fiction is something I would probably associate with the winter more, but I just kind of have more time in the summer to read like chunky books, so that's kind of why it's on the summer TBR. And then for the half historical fiction, I have Yesteryear. So this is about a trad wife influencer who gets transported back in time somehow, some way, and is kind of forced to live this lifestyle that she's falsely like perpetuating. So I think that'll be very, very interesting. I've heard very, very mixed opinions. I'm excited to see where I fall on this book, and like the getting transported back in time and being set in the 1800s a little bit is kind of why I was like, it's like half historical fiction, but I'm very interested to see how I feel about this book. This is another one that kind of just gives me winter vibes, but it's not even that it's chunky so I can read it. I just am so excited about it that I can't put it off anymore, and that's The Favorites. This is a like figure skating partners who maybe or maybe not fall in love, and it's doomed, and it spans like years type of story, and I think that'll be really fun. And I already wanted to read it, but then I recently heard that it is a Wuthering Heights retelling. Wuthering Heights is one of my favorite books of all time, probably top 3 honestly, so obviously that moved it to the tippy top of my TBR, and it's been described as a Wuthering Heights meets Daisy Jones and the Six. What a way to market a book. Like, genuinely, what a way to market a book. I'm very, very excited. I'm sad for this. I have the last Sally Rooney novel that I need to read. I've read her other ones, and I really like Sally Rooney. Like, Beautiful World, Where Are You? I gave 3 stars, and that was her lowest rated book by me. So I'm very excited to see where this one falls on my ranking. I don't even know what it's about. I was just like, a new Sally Rooney book? Sign me up. Also, the chess vibe, intermezzo. Like, I love that. I love chess. So very, very excited to see where I fall on this one. I'm a little nervous because I've heard it's stream of consciousness writing, which I don't always love, but I think reading this on like a long, hot summer day, like reading a stream of consciousness novel when it's like hot and long, like just a long day, kind of a vibe. I don't know. So I'm going to save this for like a hot, you know, long day. How many times did I say that in the past minute? Oh my goodness. All right, I'm just going to like rapid fire through these because I feel like I've been talking forever. The Handmaid's Tale. I've wanted to read this for probably a decade, but like as a woman, I'm very scared to read it. So I've been putting it off, but I think it's finally time. I think I'm finally ready to dive into this book. And then I also really want to watch the show, and I can't do that until I read the book. So I definitely want to get to this sooner rather than later. Next, I have Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I've read a lot of her shorter stuff. I read a lot of it in class, and the conversations that the class had around her stuff was so good. So I'm very excited to get into a full-length novel. And the reason I want to read this one specifically is because this was written probably in the 60s. I don't know. It could have been written in the 90s. Don't quote me on that. But it was written a long time ago, at least 20 years ago. Minimum, and it was set in 2024, and apparently a lot of the things that were discussed were not far off base for what was happening in 2024. So I think that's very interesting, and I would like to read it sooner rather than later, so I'm like closer to that year, so I can kind of like see, you know, be more immersed in it. Is that the right word? Like, I think it'd be interesting being as close to that year as possible to like see how accurate it was, you know? Okay, so I really want to get into Eve Babbitt's and Joan Didion, so I have 2 books from each of them. From Joan Didion, I have Play It As It Lays, kind of matches my shirt, how cute. And then I have Black Swans by Eve Babbitt. These are both just like old Hollywood, set anywhere from like the 60s to I think 90s, depending on the book, and I think that's a really fun vibe. Everyone and their mother loves these 2 women, and I want to know why. So I have these 2 books, and they just kind of give summer to me. I don't know. And the last one I have for literary fiction is another one that kind of matches my outfit a little bit, not as much as Play It As It Lays, but that's okay. And that is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Tesha Moshfegh. I really want to read Lapvona by her, but this one feels more summer. But if I love this, or even like it, honestly, let's be so for real, I might add Lapvona onto the list anyway. But this is the one that's officially on the list. This woman takes like a bunch of sleeping pills so she can just sleep for a year. And I think that's a very interesting vibe. Kind of similar to Intermezzo. It's something that I feel like on a long, hot summer day would go really hard. So that's kind of why it's on the summer TBR. So these are the literary fictions that I want to read this summer. Should I go classics or fantasy next? I'm thinking classics because it kind of fits the literary fiction vibe a little bit more. I think it's a nice way to flow, right? So I only have a handful of classics. First and foremost, one that I've been saving for the summer, I think it's The Bees. I don't know. Something about this just gives summer. Honestly, bees kind of give more spring, don't they? Whatever. I've been saving it for the summer, and that's Far from the Madding Crowd. I don't really know what this is about. I think there's like a love square with one woman. Very interesting, and I also really want to watch the movie. Then I have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Cannot believe I've never read this. As a performative Tumblr girly growing up, how have I not read The Bell Jar? But I'm very excited to read it finally. I think it probably would have maybe hit better when I was a teenager, but we'll see how much I like it now as an adult. And then I have Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Don't be fooled by the bookmark. I have not started this. I just got this bookmark when I got this book when I was in New Orleans at Baldwin & Co. bookstore. But this one I know follows a queer relationship. I don't know when. 1950s Paris. So very interested. Something about this just gives summer to me. I have read some of Baldwin's nonfiction and really liked it, so I'm excited to dive into his fiction. It was between this one and If Beale Street Could Talk, but this one, I don't know, it just has more summer vibes. So I put that one on the summer list. And then I have some Penguin Black classics. First Love. This is about a young boy who falls in love with like a princess who moves next door. It's a Russian classic. Very excited about it. It's very short, and it is one that I've also been saving for summer. And then I have 2 Jane Austens. I have like a personal goal to read all of Jane Austen's books this year, and I only have 3 left. So if I read these 2, then I only have 1 to read in the fall or winter. So I have Mansfield. No, I don't. I have Sense and Sensibility, and then I have Persuasion. If I can only get to one of these, I want to read Persuasion more, just because it feels more summer to me. I don't know. Summer's just a vibe, okay? Summer's just a vibe. And just like that, we're on our final section, the fantasy section, which is kind of big. I'm not gonna lie. Not as big as the romance section, though. This first book is a dystopian, but it didn't really have anywhere else to go, so we're putting it here. That is Broken Dove by Danny Francis. This is the sequel to Silver Elite, which I read last June and devoured it. That was like a 500+ page book, and I read it in like a day and a half. I ate that book down, and the ending... yeah, I need this. I need it. I need this book. I need it. I can't believe I haven't already read it. I've had it in my hands for like a week and a half now. The fact I haven't cracked it open yet is baffling to me. But basically in this world, we follow this main girl whom is a mod, and the mods are not allowed to exist, kind of. They have special powers, but when they use their powers, they have like a physical like indicator that they're using them. So if that happens, they get rounded up, and you know, not good things, right? Our main character though, when she uses her mod ability, that does not happen. So she infiltrates the enemy like training academy so she can be one of these like elite officers, basically. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Really liked that book, and I know it was very polarizing. I liked it. I had a good time. So I'm excited to finally read this one. I've heard nothing about it, so don't know what that says about this book, but I'm excited about it. If you watched my June TBR, you're probably already familiar with these 2, but I have been saving them for the summer, so they were going to be on this list regardless, and that is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri, and then The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashem. Gonna be so for real. I'm dropping them. I don't really know what these are about. They just give summer to me. I don't know what it is. They just give me summer vibes. This one I know is a like true slow burn, true enemies to lovers, and that's what I need. And then The Jasmine Throne is sapphic, and that's all I need. So that's all I need for these. Again, just like some chunky fantasy books for the summer. It's a vibe. The next fantasy book I have is Iron Flame. I just really, really need to continue this series. I have been scared because I've heard this book is absolutely awful. But like, I love Fourth Wing so much. I read Fourth Wing like the week it came out before it really, really blew up. And I read it in one day. One day. Not even one day. I read it in one night. I laid down a couple hours before I was supposed to go to bed, started it, and then stayed up to like 3 a.m. reading because I loved it that much. So I'm excited about this one. Is it good? Is Fourth Wing good? Is it? Who knows? I had a good time. So I'm excited to finally continue the series. Hopefully I'm just so scared about this book because I've heard nothing. I have not heard a single person say this book is good. So I'm a little nervous, but maybe I won't hate it that much because I'm going in with those expectations. I'm nervous, but I need to finish this series. And my best friend, she doesn't really read a lot, but she read this series and she liked this book. So the last book on the fantasy list and the list overall, I'm nervous about this. Remember what I said earlier about having more time in the summer to read thick books? Yeah, I've been saving this book for that, even though it definitely gives fall and winter vibes to me. I have been saving it for the summer because it's over 1,000 pages. And that is Alchemized by Sinlin Yu. Everybody's reading this book, and I just want to know what the girlies are about, you know? This book is so heavy. Genuinely, this is so heavy. This is a brick. Like, I could murder someone with this book. Let's be so for real. I don't even know what this book is about, to be honest. It's just had the romantasy girlies in a chokehold, and I feel left out. So I want to finally read it. But again, I've been saving it for the summer because it's so chunky. It doesn't look chunky, but these pages are so thin. This book is over 1,000 pages. So wish me luck. So that is my summer TBR. I'm a little nervous about some of these, really excited about all of them. Let me know what you think I should start with, if maybe some of them I maybe shouldn't read. Just let me know all the things and let me know what you are planning on reading this summer. Thank you so much for watching. Love you. Bye.